Hello, everyone, and welcome to episode 4 of the Port Charles Podcast, your show for all things General Hospital. It is great to be back with you. I apologize for the delay the past few days. I've been dealing with some issues and getting iTunes and Stitcher to update my episodes, and I wanted to get that all squared away before returning to the microphone. And I'm happy to say I have a new host site for my podcast, everything uploaded very quickly, and I'm happy to be moving on to more important things like talking to you about the latest in GH. So, wow, what an end to the week, huh? I mean, we finally got Sonny out of the pit. We're saying goodbye to Spencer. Ava's contemplating making a deal with the devil. Sam's starting to remember what happened. And it looks like impending doom for Hayden and Finn. Excuse me. So, where do we begin? Well, how about with Port Charles' favorite mobster, Sonny? After like 6 days of seeing him in a pit, although I realized that this all lasted about 24 hours within the show, Sonny finally crawls out. Now, of course, once he got out, he was in even more trouble because they were about to demolish the place. Now, he got out of that thanks to Carly and Dante and is now in the hospital. He did admit that it wasn't Garvey that shot him. Now, is he going to tell everyone that Sam shot him, or will he kind of realize what he said and backtrack and cover it up? Especially once they say that Garvey is dead. I can't remember if they told... you know what? I think they may have told Sonny that Garvey was dead on Friday. But I'm almost wondering if Sonny won't kind of walk back from admitting that it wasn't Garvey. Now that he realizes Garvey's dead, there's no reason to not blame Garvey, to just let everybody think, yeah, it was Garvey that shot me, no big deal. And because I know Sam didn't mean to. And once he finds out what was wrong with Sam, I think Sonny's going to probably go out of his way more to protect her and to make sure that she doesn't get in trouble or, with the law over shooting him and kicking him and leaving him in a pit. So, yeah, that's my opinion. I think Sonny's going to backtrack on things. I think he's, he can always use the excuse that, well, it's the medication. He was confused. No, yeah, and then come around and go, yeah, okay, it was Garvey. Yeah, he must have been the one that shot me. I'm just out of it. So, I think that's what you're going to see next week. You're going to see him just kind of backtrack from there. So, in another area of the hospital, Sam is starting to remember what happened. She's starting to get these visions back, or these dreams of remembering what she did to Sonny. And I think Jason started putting the pieces together that Sam might have had something to do with Sonny's disappearance. And, I think he mentally confirmed it when Sonny said that Garvey wasn't the shooter. There was a look that you saw from Jason when Sonny said it wasn't Garvey that shot me. Jason kind of had this look like, you know what, now it's clicking. Now what Sam is saying is making more sense, because I think he's starting to realize Garvey wasn't the one that shot Sonny. Sam was. And Jason's going to do everything he can to protect Sam in this going forward. So I'm excited to see how this plays out next week. This is one of the few storylines going on right now that I'm like really into and really excited about seeing what happens next. So, could Ava be making a deal with the devil? Valentine offered Ava the chance to have her face go back to how it looked before the fire. In exchange, he wants her to exonerate him in the court battle with Spencer. Now, Ava did turn him down, and Valentine went on his way, but we all know Ava. We know how vain she is, and as much as she says she wants to redeem herself, she just can't help it. Like, we know it's just a matter of time before she caves into her ego and takes Valentine up on his offer. I mean, it's almost like it's second nature to her to take the easy way out and do what's best for her. and then just apologize it and play poor me later on down the road. And I guess by doing this, it's easier to stab Spencer in the back when he's thousands of miles away in a boarding school. So, and speaking of Spencer, his summer run is up, which is why he's being sent back to the boarding school. Nicholas Bechtel, who plays Spencer, has to go back to school, so it's adios Port Chuck for now. If you get a chance, check out the video on Facebook with Nicholas's surprise going away party that some of the cast threw for him, I guess on his last day there. This kid is a total ham off screen, and I'm really going to miss him being around. I think his timing is amazing for how young he is. The comedic timing, the kind of almost deadpan, but there's just something about his acting style and his timing. I really love it. I think he's going to be a tremendous actor as he continues to get older, and I'm going to miss him. I'm going to miss Spencer because he definitely made the show interesting, especially with his feud with Valentine. And he's already said he's not going away for good. He will be back, but he's a kid, so he's got to focus on school first. And you can't fault him or his parents for making that decision. So we'll definitely miss Spencer. We'll miss Nicholas Bechtel and his tremendous abilities and what he brings to the show. And we look forward to him coming back soon. So, last but not least, we have Hayden being blackmailed by her ex-husband, Jared. I gotta say, I'm not very captivated by Finn and Hayden's relationship. So, I'll kind of be glad when this thing is over, when this whole storyline is over, even though I already know how it's going to end and I know what the fallout will be. I'm not going to say anything right now because I don't want to spoil it for anybody who's living the spoiler-free life. But I will just say that I'm ready for this storyline to wrap up and see what the fallout is on everything. Jared wants her to embezzle money from the hospital. Hayden said there's no way in hell she's going to do that, so I guess we'll see. I feel like this thing is going to get worse before it ever really gets better. So next week looks like it's going to be pretty exciting. I mean, you got the thing with Sonny and Sam. You've got, you've got, Hayden and Finn and Jared, that whole thing going on. You've got, Ava. Is she going to take Valentine up on his offer? I'm sure Julian's going to come into play somewhere along the line. So it'll be interesting. I'm already excited. Like, next week is going to be a really good week. I just have a feeling. Like, I really feel like now that we've kind of gotten through some slow parts of some of these stories, like, now I think they're going to start kicking some of this stuff into gear and really get moving on some of these things. So I'm excited. I'm ready to see what happens next week with everybody. So, that's going to wrap up another episode of the Port Charles podcast. This one was very short and sweet. I mean, I pretty much crammed like 3 days worth of shows into, one 10-minute show. And, again, when you're spending 3 days of Sonny in a pit, and, I really didn't touch on Stone visiting him, because I don't know, there was just something about, and I didn't watch the show when Stone was on, so I don't really have that connection to the character that I know a lot of people who have watched the show longer do have. And I like seeing people in flashbacks. I like seeing people kind of, I guess, come in as a ghost. I really liked it when Lindsay Leatherman would come back as Georgie. After they killed off the Georgie character, and I was a huge fan of Lindsay Leatherman. Like, I really thought she got a raw deal. I think she was a great actress, and she's only going to get better. And, I hated to see Georgie get killed off. I really love that character. But, so that's going to do it. I just wanted to make this one short and sweet. Again, I wasn't all that into Stone coming back, so, you know, take that for what it's worth. I'm not dismissing it. I know it meant a lot to a lot of fans of the show that have been watching much longer than I have. So don't think that I'm trying to dismiss or disrespect that whole story, that part of the storyline. So it was just, for me, not having watched the character, it really didn't have the impact for me that it would have maybe for you. So, and that's great, but I'm just happy that Sonny's out of that pit. Now we can move on to the next thing. So anyways, I want to thank you all for tuning in and spending your time with me. Now that I have my technical difficulties behind me, I can get back on track with the show. Again, you can find the show on iTunes and Stitcher. Please hit that subscribe button if you haven't already. I've already gotten some subscribers already, and I really appreciate it. Like, you have no idea how much that means to me to have, I think it was, last I checked, there was like 20-something subscribers already. So, like, that's awesome. Like, I'm glad you're finding the show. I'm glad it's getting out there. I'm glad you're listening. And, this thing's only going to get better. We're only going to grow from here. But for the ones that have already subscribed, thank you so much from the bottom of my heart. I greatly appreciate it, And for those who haven't, please, please, please hit that subscribe button. And if you get a chance, please go to iTunes. I don't know if this is available on Stitcher. I'd have to look into it. But I know on iTunes you can write a review of the show. If you get the chance, please write a review. It would really help me out. It would help this show out immensely, and it would really get our little community kind of growing here, and again, I'm going to keep saying that's what it's all about. This isn't about me. This isn't about, I'm not doing this because I want to hear myself talking to a microphone, because I'm not that good at it. So, I can listen to other things. I can listen to other people talk. That's what I do. I listen to other people talk about different things. So I don't need to get on here and hear my voice. This is to connect with you, the General Hospital fans, the loyal GH fans, and that's what I'm here for, So hit that subscribe button, write the reviews. You can email the show at portcharlespodcast@gmail.com. Please send your email. Send me your comments, your suggestions, your questions. Send me something. I'll engage with each and every one of you, and I'll mention this stuff on the air, and maybe through some of your suggestions and ideas, you can even give me more ideas for shows in the future. So you can catch me at email. Find me on iTunes, Stitcher, Twitter, at TheGHGuy. That's me. I am the GH guy. I am the guy that's going to come to you on this podcast and talk about GH. And so follow me on Twitter. I appreciate every one of you listening. And until next time, I am the GH guy, and this has been the Port Charles Podcast.